Building the Band, we have swapped out cute dates for performances. We have swapped engagements for locking in a girl group, forming a boy band. Oh, wait. Hold on. I have a live comment coming in. Where do I get this hat? Girl. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Today I want to talk about a brand new Netflix show called Building the Band that I was very intrigued by because it is trying to apply the Love is Blind formula to a totally new industry, which is the pop music industry. When I saw the trailer for Building the Band, I thought it was so stupid. The point it's trying to make is like not judging people for what they look like and just on their talent, just on their vocals. The Voice did that already with singing competition shows. Just like Love is Blind though, everyone is already a base level of attractive. So exactly the same as Love is Blind, which is albeit more interesting because it is dating and they get engaged, so the stakes are really high. In this show and in Love is Blind, like everyone is kind of hot already, at least at a base level. It's not really that big of a gag when they see each other. So does the concept of not seeing someone and just judging their vocals like matter in the end for this show? I don't think so. I think this is just another singing competition show, but it is kind of fun. Like, not me falling for the gimmick. I'm enjoying the show a lot, and I don't know if anyone else is watching. When I'm recording this, they've only released the first 4 episodes, so this is more of like a first impressions kind of video, and if y'all are interested in chatting about the rest of the season, I can make more videos talking about the next episodes, but these episodes cover like the pods part of the show. It seems like after this, it becomes way more of a standard singing competition show, so I'm really focusing in this video on this gimmick element, the pods, and how it compares to Love is Blind. Let me be clear, the show is called Building the Band, but it's really building the pop group, pop vocal group, boy band, girl group. I just think there wasn't a catchy way to say that. There are no instruments involved, so it's just vocalists, and it's a lot of people with ambitions to be like the Pussycat Dolls, One Direction, Backstreet Boys, Little Mix, Fifth Harmony, those types. Netflix has been in their girl group boy band era lately, and they're onto something because people love it, I feel like. At least, okay, I'll speak for myself. I love that. There's just something about pop groups and having like different archetypes in a group that I'm just obsessed with. Like there's the leader, the cute one, the edgy one, the goofy one, the baby one. Like I eat that shit up. They feel like they're dolls and I just want to dress them up. There's some like primitive girly girl instinct in me that wants to dress them up in cohesive outfits. I'm just obsessed with pop groups. And Netflix is targeting me big time with this because last year they released Pop Star Academy Cat's Eye, where they formed a global girl group, kind of using the K-pop formula. And the group is actually gaining traction in the pop world. I ate up that show. I was so obsessed with it. Just recently, Netflix released K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm obsessed with K-pop. My Little Soda Pop. Like I am eating that shit up. Also, it became like an instant hit franchise for Netflix. I just know they're gonna have a million sequels to that. Like there's so much you can do with those characters in that world. I love it because I love K-pop, I love animation, I love bright colors. Like Netflix is in their pop girl group, boy band bag, and they're nailing it, honestly. It seems like they noticed it is an underserved market in the West because, you know, K-pop is huge and it's global, and I don't know if Americans understand how to like cater to people that are into K-pop, but they're figuring it out, and I feel like Building the Band is yet another step to capture that demographic, because having media that follows the journey of a pop group is not new at all in the K-pop industry. And you see that in Cat's Eye. They have a, what do they call it? Like a survival shows. That's what they call them. That is very common for K-pop groups, and it's a super smart way to get fans invested from the jump of a group. And I mean, we've seen it too in the West with the formation of One Direction on X Factor and Fifth Harmony. These groups that have been successful in more modern times came from reality TV. So there's something about building this audience before you are even like debuting an album or a single that gets fans invested really early and gets fans to identify with different members, understand where they're coming from, their backstories. And I think Netflix is really trying to target that. And I think it's very smart. So building the band, I am enjoying it quite a lot. If you're only into reality TV dating shows mostly, like Love is Blind, no. Like, just because it has pods and it has like a similar gimmick as Love is Blind, it doesn't mean you're gonna love it. Like, just because you love Love is Blind, you're gonna, no. But if you like dating shows and you like competition shows, especially competition talent shows, like, you know, the Drag Races, American Idols, Got Talents, those kinds of shows, then I recommend Building the Band. Like, the trailer makes it look so dumb, but they actually had good casting. Like, they have a lot of people that I'm invested in that they show their backstories and obviously their performances, their talent. So I'm into the casting. Like, I feel like it's good mixes. And so far, after these first 4 episodes, the bands that did form feel very like cohesive, and I'm so interested in how they're gonna like perform once they're built and have rehearsed and are, you know, dressing together and do choreography, like all these steps. 6 bands were formed to go on in the journey of the show for one band to win. I'm like invested in all of them. I think they're all good fits and they have good individual players and artists. Like, I think casting did their big one with this show. It also has good editing. It was a little overwhelming and I was worried that the structure was going to be like confusing or hard to follow, but they do a good job of piecing the narratives together where I never felt lost. And then I think this is the biggest reason it's really good, or I'm enjoying it a lot, is the talent. Lately I've been watching so many dating shows or like just real life Bravo type shows, and I forget that when people put their talents out there and they're competing, like that in of itself is vulnerable and it adds all these stakes, and all of them like deserve the prize. So it's kind of like, who's gonna win? And I want to know who's gonna win. So that makes me just intrigued right off the bat. I think for all these dating shows and social shows I've watched, there's so much like clout chasing and manufacturing conflict and drama when there's not any there. Like, sometimes it is there, but sometimes it's not, and they just kind of have to force it. But when it's a talent show, it's like, it's a talent show. So there's going to be natural conflicts that arise and natural progressions and journeys, and a winner at the end. So like, I'm invested, and that's why I would recommend the show, especially if you like pop music. I'm a big pop music lover, so like, I think it's also right up my alley. I was really caught off guard because I was expecting to just make a little video saying, oh my god, this show is copying Love is Blind, it's so dumb, it'll never live up to it, but it's the same gimmick, but it's a totally different show, and it's actually good, so I recommend it. And it looks like in the teaser we are gonna have some showmance shenanigans going on, so it's not even like there's no romance going on, no dating. There are Yoko Ono allegations. I'm just like, I'm seated for the next batch of episodes. I do have to disclose a big reason why I probably love this show. I do love pop music, and I also love girl groups and boy bands. And I am a former Directioner. There. Can you believe it? I don't think you need any more information why I'm enjoying building the band. One Direction literally was formed from a reality show, The X Factor. I was a Harry Styles bias, if you're wondering. Of course, a lot of us were. And that brings me to another interesting dimension to this show that's actually very tragic and sad, and it is that Liam Payne was involved in the show and makes appearances in it. Liam Payne was a member of One Direction, and he tragically passed away last year at a very young age and in a very sad accident. So that also made me feel awkward about the show when I first watched the trailer, because I was like, is it weird to release this? Like, should they have scrapped the whole show? How are they going to handle this tragedy? But the show, right at the very beginning, starts with a message from the host of the show, which is AJ McLean of Backstreet Boys. He mentions that about the tragic passing of Liam Payne, and that this season will be dedicated to him and his family. Now that I see that it is a show of good quality, like, it's a very well produced show of a lot of like beautiful artists just trying to like make their dreams come true. I feel like it is a nice way to honor Liam Payne's legacy. I mean, his legacy is being part of like this wildly successful boy band formed on a reality show. So I think it is like a sweet way to see him. It's just really sad it's like the last, appearance of his we'll probably ever see. He's appearing there as a mentor and like kind of judge type personality. We don't see him in these first 4 episodes, so I'm not totally sure how much he's a part of it. They have a few guests lined up that all have relevant experience, which honestly the show did a good job getting very relevant, experienced guests and judges and mentors. It makes a lot of sense to have someone from One Direction. I'm sure he'll provide some valuable moments. I'm sure it'll be edited, to show him in a very positive light. I mean, he's a mentor in this case. Usually they are shown in very positive lights. It was interesting to see and nice to see the message right at the beginning. And it'll be interesting to see his parts in future episodes. But let me get into the structure of the show. It's a little confusing, I guess, but again, it's not very confusing once you're watching it. The structure is 50 people, which that was what I found very overwhelming. There are 50 singers, each in their pod, similar to Love is Blind, except they have to have way more rows of pods. And it's kind of like Love is Blind meets The Circle meets The Voice. Each person sings, and everyone in the pods can hear the person singing. And if someone in the pods hears a performance they really love, they will hit a button, very similar to The Voice, where they hit a button once they're in with that person. Except in this one, their chairs don't turn around or anything happens. They just hit the button, and it shows that they are interested in being in that person's girl group or boy band. To remain in the competition, each singer needs to get 5 button presses, 5 people interested in them, and if they don't, they get eliminated. Only a handful of people got eliminated that way right at the beginning, because honestly, the talent is off the charts. There's a lot of good singers on this show. Once everyone's performed and heard everybody performed, they kind of do speed dating rounds with people that they matched up with, like people that liked each other's performances, and see if there's chemistry or things in common, like if they like to sing the same genres, or if they're thinking like same amount of people in the group. So they just see if they're compatible in their goals for the competition. And slowly through the speed dating, groups start forming, and they edit it all to make sense. It's not just like all performances then all speed dating. They like intersperse it in a kind of natural progression. The show is only allowing 6 bands total to form to move on to the next round, where they will compete against each other, kind of in a more typical singing competition show format, and each band needs to be between 3 and 5 people. It seems like most of them want 3 or 4 members of the band. It seems like no one wanted a 5-person band. Oh, also each person only gets 10 likes, to like 10 performers, so they don't get like infinite button presses so they have to like think about if they want to use up one of their 10 button presses on like the person singing. They have to really think about if like they match their vibe. The host is AJ, like I said, from Backstreet Boys, and he is sort of facilitating this structure, telling people it's your turn to go sing, telling them you got enough likes, you got this many likes, or you didn't get enough, eliminating people. He's like watching all the pods from like a control room, and I kind of don't believe he's actually the one interfacing with them. It kind of feels like he came in at the end and just like filmed his lines. There's just something phony about how he's like talking to them in this intercom thing. But Netflix is good at these like shows that look a lot more polished, and I feel like in real life aren't. Like I feel like The Circle has a lot of interesting production secrets behind it. Like I don't believe the interface of The Circle looks like that. Just like in this Building the Band, I don't believe AJ can see all the pods and is actually talking to them. Maybe he is, but there was something that felt like he was overperforming it. Once a band is formed, and they can do a girl group, they could do a boy band, or a mixed gender group. Once a band is formed, then they move on to the reveal, which is kind of like a Love is Blind reveal. I kind of feel like they did a focus group about why do people love Love is Blind? Okay, people love reveals, so how can we incorporate a reveal that is dramatic in another show? And they came up with a really fun way to reveal them. Once a band is formed, they have 1 hour to learn a song, and they're going to perform it together as they reveal themselves to each other. So they will be singing together the first time they look at each other. And it makes for some really fun reveals where each one comes out one at a time, and they're singing, they're performing, they're like excited, and they're like looking at each other, they're like handshaking, the bros are like doing the bro thing, the pat. They ate with that reveal structure. I was into it. And honestly, they all did really well just for like getting a song and learning it in 1 hour, like figuring out your part, not seeing or rehearsing it with the other people, and then seeing the people the first time. Like, these people are professionals. During the reveal, they also reveal that Nicole Scherzinger is going to be their mentor as well as AJ, or AJ's just the host, I don't know, but Nicole Scherzinger is going to help. And as much as I as much as I don't appreciate her where do I get this hat moment, I think that was such a tragic misstep on her part. I do think in this context, Nicole Scherzinger is kind of like the best person you can get. She literally formed One Direction on X Factor, and Simon got the credit for so many years, and they released the footage, and she was putting them together. So, and I'm really glad one of the contestants talked about the One Direction thing, because I don't know how common knowledge it is, since that footage came out a lot later. But one of the guys, when he sees Nicole Scherzinger in his confessional, says she formed One Direction, and that's a big deal. And so I'm just glad that made the edit and that people are aware of her contribution to that. Okay, so I want to talk about each band, and I'm not going to go too far into each person or their backstories. A lot of these contestants have very compelling backstories. They're fighting for, their family, or they want to win for their own reasons, their dreams. They have like struggles in their past that they're overcoming. So all these things, and I'm not going to go through every contestant. I'm just going to talk about the bands and kind of my first impressions of each band, since there's still a lot of episodes to go, and it's really hard for me to judge where each band is going because there's so much potential in every band, and I need to see them once they've rehearsed, once they've, picked their song, once they're choreo and outfit. Like, I want to see performances, and all we get is the reveal performance, and it's so like improv and in the moment. I'm so excited to see what they can do when they can actually practice, rehearse, and get coaching and all the things. So band number 1 is made up of Donzel, Aaliyah, Cameron, and Katie. And this is probably my favorite band, at least the one with the most potential. The talent is just like overflowing with this group. If this group doesn't call themselves Pinky Promise, I'm gonna be so mad, because their thing was like when they formed, they made a pinky promise, Donzel and Aaliyah, and they kept referring back to the Pinky Promise, and I'm just like, that'd be a really cute group name. They haven't named themselves yet, so we don't know any group names. I love them. Like Aaliyah's vocals, insane. Donzel too. Cameron's reveal when he was performing was so good, and the editing was so fun. You know how a lot of people like watch Love is Blind with like a blanket over the TV to see what it feels like to be in the pods? The editing gave us like a taste of that because they just started the performance and they didn't show us who was singing, and we got to experience kind of the pod experience and all the people reacting, and everyone thought Cameron was a woman because he has a very androgynous voice, and then later they find out and it's kind of a gag, and I just love androgyny. I was obsessed with that, and I love how he fits into this group. I also find the concept of a mixed pop group really fresh. Like, I feel like we don't see that often, at least in the modern day. I feel like in the 90s we had more of this, like there were girls and guys in a pop group, and that was interesting. Like in Mexico, we had Ove Siete, and that's who I think of. I feel like back in the day that was more of a thing, and we haven't really had a modern mixed group go big, go mainstream. Like even the K-pop groups, BTS and Blackpink, and these bands, they're pretty like separated by gender. Maybe like the Pentatonics are the closest modern mainstream example we've had, but like they're a cappella, right? So that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I'm obsessed with them, and I'm really looking forward to what they're going to be doing vocally, especially. I was so mad when Donzel was torn between Landon and Aaliyah. I was like, Landon's over here. Landon's like the teeny bopper boy band type, and Donzel and Aaliyah just had such a good connection, and they have such like great unique vocals that I was so scared he was going to go with Landon, but he didn't. He did not break the Pinky Promise. And then they were trying to get like Bibi, the redhead girl, versus Katie for their fourth member, and I'm so glad they went with Katie. She just seemed to fit in, and just their genre. Like Bibi's genre was totally opposite. She was the indie rock lean, whereas the rest of the group was more R&B pop leaning. I really like they went with Katie. I'm excited for that group, band number 1. So band number 2 is Malik, Landon, Shade, and Bradley. And this is the most like teeny bopper classic boy band you think of. They feel very Y2K, and I'm not mad at it. I think it's a really fun throwback. Like Y2K is super in. Like it's been long enough that it's cool again. I think also because Shade sang a Neo song, I think Landon sang a Britney song, and Malik was giving a little Usher vibes just in his look. So all of that makes this group feel very reminiscent of the late 90s, early 2000s time period of boy bands or artists like Usher and Neo, that are very pop and very like choreo heavy. I'm excited for them to do some choreo. Like they better be serving in that department. I want their outfits to be very matchy. That's what I'm seeing for them. I feel like they did have similar styles that were giving Y2K as well, like baggy pants and stuff. I just need this boy band to lean into like the pop to the max thing and like commit to that, and I think they can. The vocals are there. Shade is very like choreo heavy. Landon is giving very like Baby Spice. I think Bradley is the most like odd one out to me. I need to see him dancing and then I'll make up my mind, but I'm excited for this group as well, giving very Y2K classic boy band. Okay, band number 3. This is a trio. Weneli, Brianna, and Nori. I am obsessed with all the girl group. I mean, I'm obsessed with all these bands. That's why I'm invested. I kind of like all of them, but I love me in the girl groups. This is a trio. If I had to pick a band that had the weakest reveal, I think it'd be this one. But the reveal doesn't determine much just because it is so impromptu. And I do think it's because they're a trio. Every other reveal we saw so far was 4. And this was a trio, so I feel like there was less room to hide or less voices like harmonizing when someone's doing runs or doing the extra stuff. All the reveals were good, including this one. So it's hard for me to say, but I'm still very excited for this group. I feel like Wanelli and Brianna have great voices that blend together. It was interesting, actually. They had met each other before, so they kind of broke the experiment a little bit, but it didn't really matter because the whole not seeing them didn't really matter in the grand scheme. They were all cute and cool and hot already, so it was kind of like a moot point. Yeah, Brianna and Wanelli had seen each other before, and Brianna had done like a major role in the Trolls, one of the Trolls movies. I also kind of appreciated that here in this show. A lot of the people have experience, like they've been in boy bands before or like been in big projects. A lot of them make a living as singers. So I kind of like that. I feel like it makes them feel like they're taking this seriously and they're like professionals. And I think that's a good thing. And then the third member in this group is Nori, who had so much personality in the pods. She was so fun. I do think Nori has a very unique sounding voice. So I feel like this was part of the reveal that I don't know how well she fit in immediately, but it's also a cool thing to have a unique voice in a group because I love when I'm listening to boy band or girl group songs and I can tell who's singing. It's usually the one who has like the most distinct voice, and that would be Nori in this group for sure. I'm excited to see how they blend together or how they use their different voices. With a trio, I don't know, I feel like I'm a bigger fan of 4 and up kind of groups rather than a trio, but I'm interested to see their journey and see how they're gonna approach a trio. And I felt so bad because this group had to reject Bree, who was trying to be a 4th member to their group, but Nori and Brianna were both pretty set on a trio. I feel like the trio people are the ones who are like, I want to be the next Destiny's Child, which fair enough. Who doesn't? That was so sad when they had to reject Bree. Awkward. But I think it's for the best. I think they make a good trio. They look like a good trio. Love band 3 as well. Band number 4. This is our indie skater boy band made up of Connor, Zach, Shane, and Mason. It has 2 Australians and then 2 Americans. They're giving very indie skater boy. I'm not like other boys. They're trying not to be cringy boy band. I feel like the ladies would eat that up. They all did songs that were like by Teddy Swims and Noah Kahan. So they had that like hosier type of voices. And they're very much aiming for that style, which is very trendy right now. Connor in this band is their Harry Styles lookalike. I feel like that's going to be a secret weapon once the other bands see them. But in the preview, it actually looks like he's the weak link because he's the one that ends up in a showmance with Allison, who's like the bitch of the season. I'm very intrigued to see what happens there because it looked like the showmance thing was really getting in between this band. But they're really vibing. Their reveal went well. More European vibe, I guess. I keep saying European vibe, but they're Australian. By European vibe, I guess I just mean non-American vibe. I think that has a lot of potential. Teen girls love an accent. I think it was half of One Direction's success was their accents. Sorry about it. I think this band is one to watch out for. Band number 5 is another girl group of 4, Erica, Jenna D, Noriella, and Autumn. I'm loving this girl group. They're like the cutesy, bubbly, sweet type of pop group. Remind me more of like the attitudes of K-pop groups, at least the more cutesy ones, because they just have this positive like slumber party vibe to them when they're talking to each other. They're very focused on like wanting a sisterhood and supportive of each other. It was really sweet when this band formed because of Erica's journey. She had a run-in with Allison, who was kind of a main character of the season. I mean, more antagonist than protagonist, I would say. Allison was just very blunt with Erica. They were kind of forming a connection, and then Erica started talking about her fears going into this and just like feeling the pressure of like her dreams being at stake, and Allison just very bluntly was so mean to her. She was like, I don't want to be in a band with someone dwelling on negativity and that is weak and all these things. And it was so out of pocket. Like, damn. And I get Allison wants to be cutthroat. It is a cutthroat industry, but she was mean to poor Erica. And Erica's just like crying. I don't think Erica was being weak or anything. I think she was just having like a sensitive moment with someone she was hoping would get it. And it was the wrong person. And it was so sad to see Erica be so sad when Allison rejected her. But then it was so satisfying to see Erica find this group of girls that was really nice and matched her energy and her sensitiveness and were supportive and giving her kind words. So I think that journey made me really root for this group and just their positivity. It's hard not to root for them. I think they're really cute together too. Noriella's body is so tea. And one of them girls in the reveal told her that, and I was like, tea. It really is. Like, that's probably the most tea body I have ever seen. And then Nicole Scherzinger at the reveal told them they were future little pussycat dolls. And I feel like that was high praise. And I'm really excited to see where this group goes because they feel very like, I want the whole doll thing with them, like dressed up like Bratz dolls. They kept talking about Bratz dolls. Not this group, but everybody. Like the other trio as well. Honestly, I feel like this group's giving more Barbie. And the Winelli, Brianna, Nori group is giving more Bratz dolls. I'm excited for the fashion. I'm such a pop music nerd. Like, I'm not one of those music only nerds that I just care about the music. Like, I know that's like the cool thing to do, but I care about that whole package. Like, give me the song and the look and the choreo and the video. Like, that to me is what pop music is. Okay, and then band number 6, we actually don't see form all the way. We know it's gonna be Allison because she got so much screen time, probably the most screen time, and she is between 2 duos trying to choose because Allison wants a trio. Honestly, Allison should be going solo because she is a freaking diva. I understand her being cutthroat. Like, showbiz is such a cutthroat place to be in. I feel like she'll get far, honestly, with this kind of attitude to an extent because she's also like a diva, and I feel like in this context it just doesn't make for a very pleasant group environment all the time. But she does have the talent. Like, her voice was amazing. She sang Dangerous Woman, and like, I get why she's so confident. She has an amazing voice and talent and a great look and everything, but in these pods she's being very picky. And I also don't like that she's coming into a girl group show and already saying like, I want to be the Beyonce. And it's like, keep that thought to yourself, girl. Like, don't you think everyone in the group is trying to be the Beyonce? Like, it just comes off like the other people are just props in her own success rather than their own artists who have the same goal as her in the end, you know? That's the part I don't like. I think there's room for being cutthroat, and I get being cutthroat, especially like as an artist, you get so much rejection and it's such an uphill battle. So it's like, I understand taking that approach and being cutthroat. It's just tough. But she made good TV, honestly, and it was authentic, and I feel like there's fans out there that will enjoy the diva vibes. But yeah, so she's torn between Cece and Mandy and Elise and Haley. And the cliffhanger of episode 4 was her choosing between the two. I kind of was like, can we just do a 5-piece band since we don't have a 5-people band yet? And that'd be cute. It'd be a girl group. The more the merrier with girl groups, honestly. I'm fine with that. But Allison is set on 3, I think, because she doesn't want to share the spotlight any more than she has to. She's deciding between these 2 groups. I believe in the teaser you can see Elise's arm. And I'm pretty sure she goes with Elise and Haley, which makes sense to me. I feel like Elise is a big talent. She's one of my favorites, honestly. She's the one who had the opera background. But I do sense from the pod conversations, Elise and Allison are gonna be butting heads. They both have kind of diva vibes. See, I feel like Elise approaches the diva thing in a way that's like not putting down other people or being arrogant about it. Like Allison gives the vibes of like Elise has the talent, has the chops, but also is like, I'm a leader. So I think that's a recipe for disaster, honestly. And then we see that Allison's gonna have a showmance with the Harry Styles looking guy. Maybe Allison has issues with her girl group, so she wants to sabotage a strong other group, and she targets the Harry Styles guy to weaken the indie skater boy band from the inside. Or maybe she actually falls in love with the Harry Styles guy. Maybe she was a directioner as well with a Harry Styles bias. I can relate. Or maybe she knows if she has a showman, she will have a lot of screen time. I'm hoping building the band becomes big enough that Allison can get on House of Villains. She'd be great for that. I can't wait for her to link up with Huda and Mistress Isabel Brooks on a future House of Villains seasons. That would be the alliance of the century. I'm very excited, surprisingly, for this random ass Netflix show that I did not expect to be into. The gimmick was the gimmick that it was, but it worked out and it made for an interesting show, and the reveals were really fun, so maybe the payoff was worth the gimmick. But what matters is like I'm invested in the groups and I'm interested to see how they're gonna perform. So yeah, it looks like in future episodes they're gonna live together wild, and they're gonna rehearse, they're gonna perform in front of like these big audiences with whole stage design stuff. We got the showmance going on between Connor and Allison. I can't wait to see that. We'll have other mentors like Kelly Rowland. We'll have Liam Payne's appearances. Let me know if you're interested in chatting about future episodes. I know this is a new show and I feel like it doesn't have that much traction online at all. But I'm into it, so I'm gonna make a video about it even if not that many people are interested in watching it. Let me know your thoughts on building the band so far. Which band are you most excited about? For me, it's definitely band number 1, the mixed group. They just feel really fresh to me and very talented. But I also love all the girl groups, and the boy bands are just so classic. I mean, that's my roots right here, so it's hard. I love all of them. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I put out new videos whenever I feel like it about TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things. And you can follow me at Miscellaneous to keep up with me, or just turn on the bell notification here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.